go at the ACCs and at the NCAA tournament.
On this mat, we saw Michael Gioffre upset Dylan Evans in an exciting match. Ed Scott took out Nick Tatini, so that's who we've got. The 6 seed for the Cavaliers, Michael Gioffre, and the 2 seed for NC State, Ed Scott, at 157, where we have 3 qualifiers.
Ed Scott, returning ACC champion, ended up beating Bryce Andonian last year in the semifinals and beat Sonny Santiago in the finals. He also has another ACC title where he beat Austin O'Connor in the finals, a 2-time national champion.
Ed Scott, an All-American in 2023, trying to make it 4 straight years where he makes it 2 nationals.
Yeah, we've been blessed a couple All-American versus All-American matchups here. But the difference here, and correct me if I'm wrong on the pronunciation once again, Dean, Gioffre is not an All-American, but he can make his name by beating an All-American. One guy that I know, Ric Flair, he once said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And Ed Scott has been the man at this weight for a little while now, but things could change in a blink of an eye in this match.
Absolutely. We're talking about that house money again. You're taking the red eye out from the Vegas area. Gioffre's really got nothing to lose. Ed Scott's a guy who's very dangerous from these positions, and he ends getting oh wow, Gioffre scrambles out onto a leg, and he's going to score. Another great scramble from a Gioffre brother.
Jacob Casper mentions the nature boy, and we got the best scramble so far.
Oh no, you hate
Ed
to see
Scott,
that. Little shaking up. Moving a little slow. You know, Gioffre is a California state champ in 2022 for Buchanan. They had an amazing state tournament again. It's a bit of a dynasty out there. You know, I closely followed the California state tournament the last couple weekends for a lot of the guys that I helped coach at Gilroy, who had an amazing tournament as well. And California continues to prove with one state tournament just how tough it can be.
Absolutely, as you said, one division, one true state champion in a huge state like California. And they're continuing to produce more and more great talent. They've got some phenomenal high school coaches out there with, you know, Tirapelli, as you talked about, Daniel Cormier at Gilroy, with the assistants they have on that staff. It's just producing more and more guys who are ready for college to take that next step.
Jacob, you saw the Fine Silvers, 4 of them do incredible work. We saw Jack and Michael Gioffre both with massive wins right here on mat 2 for Virginia.
Yeah, you can feed off of that. You know, like I was telling Rhino earlier, he, you know, as he praised me and it made me a little uncomfortable. A big reason why I competed the way I did was for the guys that I had in the room. And speaking from a tag team with my own brother, when my own brother's out there and doing well, that fuels me to want to perform at a higher level. And they're going to feed off of each other. And, you know, that's a dangerous combo come March.
If you want to know the type of guy that Jacob Casper is, when his brother made the Ohio State finals, he hopped on a plane for $700, $800 to get there in person and watch his brother Drew win the Ohio State title. And that's the type of teammate, family member he is. And that's why, you know, as a guy who is a teammate with him, I, you know, love him, and the people love him here.
I appreciate that, Rhino. That was about the only $700 left I had in my account at the time, too. So it put me on some hard times. But you know what? Those memories are priceless. That's still one of the best memories, and one of the best things I've done with my life is watch my younger brother win a state title.
In Ohio, was that at the Shot?
Oh, it was at the Shot. I think it might have been Value City at the time, but it was at the Schottenstein Center. Schottenstein Center, you know, famous for wrestling, as is the Hershey Arena in PA, where Ed Scott is from. Ed Scott, I believe, was a state champ as well there a couple times. But I feel like Ed Scott's, I don't want to say lost a step this year, but it seems like he's dealing with some injuries or having to push through something here. Something's a little bit amiss. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
I was going to say, in this match, he looked over the corner at that right shoulder, and something isn't right with that, because he's not really using it like he typically does. And he did it again. He pointed at it again. Something's wrong with that right arm.
He's kind of letting that right hand hang there, too. And, man, I love Ed Scott. I didn't mean that in a disparaging way. I love to watch him compete. He truly is a guy that would let it all fly. So just bothers me a little bit to see him maybe not at 100%. But, you know, to be honest, I'm not sure how many guys are at 100% in this point of the year. And I'm sure he would reiterate the same, as there's no excuses. You just have to find a way to get the job done.
Yeah, and
well, that includes Michael Gioffre, who missed 5 weeks and most of the duel action with an injury, but has come back in pretty good form here. This would be another massive upset.
Absolutely. Scott's still so dangerous. He's a guy that likes to work from his underhook. He can throw. He's got really solid leg attacks when he goes to him. At times, it's when he gets in some of these scramble situations. Nice redrag, and he's in on the leg. He's going to have to use that right arm. Gioffre does a nice job getting to far ankle.
You see shades of guys like Kevin Jack and Nick Wisdowski who helped pave the way in that NC State room with that drag to get to that single there. You know, it's just really cool to see guys from our generation influence even, you know, the culture of the program this much further removed.
That's a good call. Wisdowski made a living off that short drag.
.40 seconds remaining. Gioffre, the 6th seed, trying to hang on and take down the 2 seed and make it to tonight's 8 p.m. ACC Wrestling Championships on the ACC Network from Cameron Indoor in Durham.
Great build and getting his hips back underneath him. He can take his time a little bit with his finish. I would like to have seen him stand him up, walk him back to the center, and get a lot of real estate so you can finish this the way you need.
He's got to pull him and turn quick.
Yep. Trying to score here before the end of the period. Gioffre is going to get out of this period with the lead.
You know, it's funny. You said he had to get to it quick, but he had 10 seconds left still there. And while 10 seconds to, you know, everyday life doesn't seem like a lot, it can seem like an eternity while you're out there. And if he would have taken the 2 to 3 extra seconds there, I think to truly walk him back to the center, he might have had the real estate he needed to not have to be diving in on that leg and to just truly finish it.
And we've seen that short time matter before in things like the national tournament. Jason Ness hitting a late super duck, put Dan Dennis to his back and win a national title. And those are positions that matter.
Ed Scott letting Gioffre get to his feet here, a little bit uncontested. You know, he was kind of in all over his legs there at the end of that period. And sometimes you feel that. You have a feel for, you know, when a guy's letting his feet stay in place or when you can get an attack off, as we see a stall call go in the way of Ed Scott to make this a 3-4 match here. And things are about to get interesting with 1:30 left of wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling left with stall points already. And Scott's really up in the pressure. He likes to get to this left side underhook. This is where he likes to work.
Now, what are you saying if you're in the corner for Gioffre, and what are you saying if you're in the corner for Ed Scott here?
For Ed Scott, you got to get back to that. Keep up the pressure underhook, put him on the edge, make the ref think about calling Gioffre for stalling. And if you're that Virginia corner, he's got to get his rear to the center and stay in there and move, put one out there exactly like that. That's what you want. You get the ref off your back there.
You punch that control tie with that underhook like he has. As he clears the tie right to a deep attack.
This crowd is
so behind. To come alive.
He's going to get this.
I love this. A big build to the body lock. This is how I like to wrestle.
It's Jacob
this is ACC Wrestling in March, baby. Let's go.
We were waiting for Scott to make the move. He made the move.
Beautiful to come up to the body. That's a champion mentality.
That's what I was just going to say. I said earlier, Ed Scott maybe isn't at 100%, but he shows that he's got a lot of heart and can find a way to dig deep when it matters. Winners win, baby. That's what Glenn Lanham used to always say.
Ed Scott beat Gioffre 11-4 on January 17.
Gioffre goes roll. He's going to have to go big.
$10 seconds for me, Gioffre. If he doesn't make the top 3, he may have shown enough to the committee
That's the thing. We'll see. I mean, that win over Evans is a huge win. He's obviously talented. He's going to have to fight his way through the backside, but this is the loudest it's been in here today for Ed Scott, two-time ACC champion. He dug deep because something ain't right with that arm. He's still not using it as he runs off the mat. And you don't see Popolizio pop like that as much just in the semifinal round. And he popped up off that chair and gave Ed Scott a nice slap on the back.
We're going to take a break as we've got semifinal action from Mat 2 and Cameron Indoor. It's the ACC Wrestling Championships on ACC Network Extra.